Welcome to Design with Miyoshi. Today we're going to put together our semi.
But first, I want to thank Northwest Technical Products for sponsoring this video. If you are part of an educational institution in Washington, Alaska, Oregon, Idaho, or Montana, contact Northwest Technical Products for all your SolidWorks and other technical needs. Thanks, Andrew, and all the crew at Northwest Technical Products.
Let's get started. We're going to assembly. Hit OK. So this is something new. Assembly, something new. Assemblies are nice in SolidWorks because you put together a bunch of pieces that you had together before. So I'm going to go ahead and start with. We're going to make a small subassembly first. We're going to make the axle as part of it. So I'll put this in here. Now, if you just double click over here, it'll put it where you don't necessarily want it, at least after the first part. So what we're going to do, I like to place it. I'll click on this triangle and I'll do view and I'll do hide show. And I want the, where is it? Origins. Where's origins? Origins. There we go. Right down the middle. And as you can see, I'll have to click over here and I want this origin and that origin to be the same. So what I want to do is go near it. In this case, it will snap right on it. In some cases, it will look like it didn't, but you can see it snap right on there. Now click, click. And that puts it right in the origin. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to insert components. And I'm just going to grab the wheel and hit open. And I'll just put it anywhere. It doesn't really matter where. I'll just click on that. Now, see if I can remember how to do this. I want, well, no, I don't want two of them. I want just one. We're only going to do half of the assembly. And then I'll bring one more component in here. And that is the washer. So I'll zoom down here and go to the washer. Okay. And I'll hit open. And I'll just put that in there somewhere. It looks like it might be too big. That's okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is we are going to put this wheel on that axle. We're going to put this washer on that axle too, right here, so the wheel doesn't go, or the body, the axle doesn't move back and forth too much. So I can kind of play around with it just by clicking on it and moving it. That drags it. If I right click, on it, I can turn it a bit. So I'm going to right click and turn it just a bit. Don't want to do that. All right. So what I want to do is we're going to do what's called mates, and I want this guy and this guy. I don't want it to be, well, I want it to go on there first, but I don't really want it to be concentric, at least not at the end. So see how I'm going to do. Oh, let's go tangent. Well, let's click on that little cylinder and that little cylinder. Don't think I made one. There we go. And I really want it to be tangent to that inner cylinder, not to the outer cylinder. So if I move this around, I'll just hit check. Sorry, hit the check. And now you can see, oh, it didn't. Just made that concentric there instead. Nope. Oh, I made it concentric. I didn't want it concentric. Let's delete that. Right click and delete. What I really want is I want that face, and see if I can zoom in here tiny. That part of this guy. I don't want them concentric. I want them actually to be tangent. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Now, I didn't really do it. I got it. So all the time it's going to be tangent to that. And we can make it just coincident as well. So let's go ahead and add another one. We're still in mates, so I'll just grab this and grab that, the two cylinders. Then I'll just make them parallel for some reason. Interesting. Don't know if it'll let me do that. It doesn't like that for some reason. All right. So we'll just hit OK for now. We'll just make it coincident. Oh, I did do tangent, so let's get rid of the second tangent. Let's right click and delete that. And then we're going to do another thing. We're going to make a new mate. What I'm going to do is grab this face. Then I'll use my right mouse, wheel of my middle mouse. Or my middle, I call it the middle mouse, but it should be the wheel, right? And I'll grab this face. And I want them to be just coincident, which it did. Hit OK. And now you see that if I move this by clicking, it only stays in that area. Okay. Oh, interesting. I made that too thick. I'll have to go back and change that washer, I guess. All right. How big that washer is? I'll make it about half that thickness. I'll hit OK. I'll zoom out a bit. And I want this guy to be, well, we'll right click on this and come on. Right click and just kind of turn it a bit. So I kind of want it a little bit more that way. There we go. You can also do move component, rotate component, and that works pretty well too. All right, so I'm going to do mate, and I'll click on this. Oh, and not the face. Don't want that face. I want, click my middle mouse to rotate a bit, and then I'll click on that cylinder there, and I want them to be concentric. And there it goes. Line it up beautifully. I'll hit OK. Now, when I hit that little checkbox in that guy, instead of this one, it keeps me in the mate. And now what I want to do is I want this face to be coincident with this face. That way it's right on the edge there of the axle. And there is my axle subassembly. Now, I'm going to go back, I'll just hit save. And I'm not going to make a drawing of this, I'm just going to make an assembly. So we're going to call it axle wheel. I'll just leave it right in the same folder. Now, the beauty of SolidWorks is, of course, I can open up the washer, and I can right click here and just open it wherever it is. Open part, right here. I don't usually like to do it that way. I'd usually rather do it a different way. But I'm going to go ahead and right click or left click either one and edit the feature. We don't want it to be quite that extruded. 1875. Oh, let's take under. Let's do 30 seconds instead. Yeah, do that. And we have a nice, beautiful partner. So I'll do 30 seconds. We'll save that up. And of course, we really need to edit the drawing too. So let's go ahead and open the drawing. We'll open that same drawing, and there it is. It updated it now. And if we look at this guy, use my middle mouse there, open that guy up. Let's give it a few more decimal places. There we go, 09375. And then we'll go ahead and save this guy up. Actually, let's do one thing. Let's edit the sheet format. And I'm going to change these guys. I'm going to change them to Design with Miyoshi. Highlight the whole thing, and let's change that to like 14. There we go. Somewhere here, right click, edit sheet, save that guy up. And of course, I'll do save as and save this as a PDF. There we go. Now, I can close this guy out. I can close this guy out. And it says model contained within assembly change. Would you like to rebuild assembly out? Yes, of course I do. And there we have our new washer there. And that washer is still constrained by that mate. And we can see it's thinner than that. That's beautiful. So now I'll just save up the assembly again. Rebuild and save. Yep. And there we've got it. So our first assembly, and this actually happens to be a sub-assembly, which means it was going to be part of the bigger assembly. But there we have it, our first assembly, our wheel, our axle, and that washer that's going to keep the axle from going in and out too far. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Design with Miyoshi.